the Outback Regional Innovation Tour for Beach City, and we're also meeting up with our friends in Longreach, friends of Advanced Queensland and Rapid at Longreach for Startup Weekend
Outback Edition.
Yeah, with a feature on focus on women in business, I believe.
G'day world, Macca and Chris here in Windora, and we made it.
We made it.
How long did it take us, Macca?
15 hours, and we'd had a flat.
And we also have a big event here now. We created it just before Birdsville races to kind of get people to stop here and spend a bit of time in Windora, which is the Yabby races, and that's held directly in front of the pub.
To have these communities exist in the future, we're not going to have the next generation of police officers, nurses, school teachers, our professionals we need in local government to build our roads and maintain our networks, unless you've got comms, so they can have a career pathway, do some learning, have their partner study. So it's a great opportunity to come to these remote areas and further your career path.
I'm an online, say, Western boutique, just trying to bring a bit of American flair and something different to all the Australian cowgirls out there, I guess.
We have a lot of visitors obviously that come through on their way to other places for major events, but what we do have here is probably pretty phenomenal ecotourism, if you will, if you're a bird watcher, or wildflowers when it was really nice and wet last year.
Braidwood's 283,000 acres in total, generally run 2,500 to 3,000 head of beef cattle. Myself and my wife Megan and our 4 daughters live on the place, and it's a pretty good part of the world to be in. The cost of things, with inflation is rising every year, and the price we're getting for our animals isn't keeping up with it. So we're constantly looking for ways to become more efficient, and unfortunately, labour is one of those big costs.
So we have a walkover weigh machine here at Braidwood that we've supplied as part of a trial that they have going with a few properties around the region. At the moment, we've got steers going over it. So every time the steers come in to get a drink of water, they basically walk over this weigh box, and it reads their tag and takes a static weight as they come in, so we can start to get a really good picture every day of whether they're gaining weight, losing weight, holding weight, whether or not they're ready for sale. So you can put an automatic draft on the front, so basically from the homestead I could say anything over a certain weight, I'd like it to draft off. I don't even have to go out there, and Andrew doesn't have to get in his plane anymore to go and muster. He will just peel off all those cattle, and we can go out in a couple of days and pick them up and put them on a truck, or we can pull calves off cows, whatever we want to do with it.
We have a system here where we can monitor how much water is in the tank, and also how much water is going to each trough, so that we know that the livestock have got water constantly, and that they're that everything's fine here, and it creates a lot of cuts down a lot of cost and time, and having to come down and check, and having a person here to check that everything's okay. We're able to check on my phone at any point in time how much water they've got, and also it sends me a text message if there's anything that's wrong.
Our students range from our geographically isolated students who are on properties around all over the place. We've got students who are perhaps for medical reasons are unable to attend a regular school, so they attend school with us. We've got students who are travelling, we've got students who are on yachts, we've got students in very isolated communities, we've got students who are exclusive dance students who are, difficult for them to do all their practice and be at a regular school, so they do their lessons with us as well. So we have a very wide range of students, and we take people from anywhere, all over.
Globally, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
One of the most successful we're administering now is what we call the cluster fencing project, which is basically dog-proof fences, not around just individual properties, but around clusters of properties, which is increases the total area. That's been rolling out now for a couple of years and continuing to roll out. if we ever get rain, and we are in the middle of a pretty bad drought, but we're getting some great results from that, or I should say the clusters are getting some excellent results from that as far as lambing rates and stopping the predation of wild dogs. One thing a lot of people don't know about Longreach is, I think per head of population we would have one of the most active triathletes / cyclists / running communities.
Like historically anyway, Winton has been geared for grazing, for the grazing industry, you know. Then you've got trucking industries and all those sort of things. But when there's no stock, that all dries up and people leave. Well, it's very hard to get them back. And this is the beauty of the museum. We've only got 24 people working through winter here so far, but you know, about 8 of them built houses and bought houses in towns. You know, so we're starting to get people back in that way, but it's not enough. So we've got to encourage major investment into the towns with, you know, like new infrastructure in the way of motels and things like that. And tourism is our only real way of keeping those towns viable. What we're trying to do, which is build Australia's Natural History Museum. So it's not just about dinosaurs; it's about telling the story of how Australia has evolved over the last 4.5 billion years. You know, that should be a part of every kid's, you know, upbringing and every kid's education. You know, because it's important if they know if they know where their country's come from, or know where our continent has come from, then the more they know about where it's come from, the better they're going to understand where it's going, and the better they're going to help to look after it in the future.
There is a saying that the further west you go, the less lies you encounter. So by the time you get to Winton, there's a big dose of fair dinkum. One of the things in Winton, doesn't matter where you live, it really is a classic Australian small town. You can walk out of your front gate anywhere in Winton, turn right or left, and you can see the edge of town, you can see the bush. And I think that connects with people that come and visit.
The public Wi-Fi in town, you just sign in with Facebook or fill in a very simple form, and that helps us understand our customers. And we think that's the real important part of establishing a meaningful relationship with our visitors.
The cluster fencing program was initiated, and that was state government funded, and that included farmers, property owners, working together to build these wild dog fences and to keep wild dogs out of their properties. The success rate is really good at this stage, where farmers have reported 15% lambing to 85%.
Yeah, the homestead is a traditional old Queenslander. It's got a ballroom. I think it's the biggest private ballroom in Western Queensland. And and we were lucky to host the Queen here in 1970. So Queen Elizabeth and Philip came out. We've had the likes of Dick Smith out here and astronauts and anyone that comes to the capital Outback wants to go to a farm. So this is where they usually come. Australia is the most highly variable rainfall continent in the world, and this area is the most highly variable rainfall area within Australia. We recently got a solar farm that's almost completed. It's 17.5 megawatts. It's about $32 million worth of development. Just to support the local tradespeople, we wanted to do something there as well, because we're losing so many people from the schools and so many people from the community. So for what's a large-scale project, and makes sense to have a solar farm in Longreach. It's one of the hottest places in Queensland. I set up a digital platform to improve financial literacy for farmers. So we've gamified data entry with sort of some gaming technology to actually walk farmers through all their financial and production aspects of running their farm.
We're here for Startup Weekend Outback Edition, and I have with me this facilitator, Daniel Johnson. How are you, Daniel?
Doing great, a little bit warm, but having a fun time. We have one participant that drove 8 hours to be here. It turns out if you present this as an opportunity, people will come out of the groundwork and the woodwork and just try to see if they can have a go at it.
What do you like about this place?
In Longreach?
Yeah.
What do I like? It's very peaceful. Everyone's really friendly.
I know I've had friends come and go, and unfortunately the community's seeing a little bit of a mass exit of people, both in the agricultural industry and from town. And so we're trying to spread the word and the love and get visitors to come and say good day and I know I've been to the Gold Coast about 20 times in my life, so you guys need to come out a little bit more and visit us. What we're simply doing here at Camden Park is opening our doors up to invite visitors from all over Australia, and in saying that, globally, all over the world, to come and see what it is, touch feel experience at Camden Park Station, and offer my time to answer any questions that they may have. We're not going anywhere, we're staying here, so we're all about the next generation, and thank you guys for coming all the way out here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. 5 days here in Longreach
And
other regions. We travelled from the Gold Coast to Windora
to Junda. Did I say that right this
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
And then through to, was it
Then we
Stonehenge?
No, we went to
Braidwood Station.
Yep, Braidwood Station.
Stonehenge, Longreach. Oh, we've met up with Bracken. Is that?
Yep,
did I say that
Bracken.
right?
Draft Horse Creek.
Draft Horse Creek. Got that one right. And yeah, straight through to Longreach. And we've had an awesome time with the community. They've been very warm and welcoming. Absolutely love it out here. The land and the stars.